but feel the way I feel when you're not near. And it's obvious to see, with you absent there's no me. I don't know much else I can say except I need you around. I got no other games to play. Girl, I'm hoping you can stay. I really need some of your love. Cause you're the only one I wanna kiss and hug. And girl, no matter where you are, I wanna be. Ain't no distance that's too far enough for me. No. You're the only one I need. You're all I need. Ain't no other girl for me. No. Tailor-made just right for me. Yeah, she's the only one I need. So come here, let me love you. Baby, let me love you. There ain't no one I'm trusting but you. Nah. I wanna be that answer that you need. So come and give me a chance, you'll see. There can't nobody else but you. Get me in the mood to do every little thing that's so kinky. Cause when I'm with you, girl, I can be that energy you need to light your fire. I can be your everything you need when I'm around. No. You're the only one I need, girl. Ain't no other girl for me. No, tailor-made just right for me. Yeah, she's the only one I need.
All right, welcome to Turnbuckle Talk. He's Reggie. I'm Mr. 411. We thank everybody for tuning in. What you just heard was the hot track from Jay Edwards, Tailor Made, and we had the information going across the bottom of the screen on Jay Edwards. So check out Jay Edwards, and he has a great hit there, Tailor Made.
Sounded nice, sounded pretty smooth.
Yeah, like a little smooth something, you know what I mean? Like I can see myself with a nice little jacket on in the club, got a little drink, you know what I'm saying? Got a little cup in the hand, you know what I mean?
I'm cruising down 75 on that one. I ain't in the club, so I'm just cruising down 75 with the wind.
That what you doing already? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, welcome to the show. This is Turnbuckle Talk. This is our wrestling podcast show. And Reggie and I, we love the sport of professional wrestling. Yes, it's the sport of professional wrestling. And we were brainstorming. We recently just talked about Kofi Kingston on the last episode. So if you please hit that notification button, hit that like, subscribe, and share, because sharing is caring. You can go back and watch it on the YouTube. It's actually saved in the 411 Sports World link in YouTube. And with that said, Reggie, we was talking about what we're gonna get into next. And one of the big premium live events is coming up in a week from Saturday, which is the Royal Rumble. And so we're going to talk about the Royal Rumble. We're going to go through the history of the Royal Rumble. We'll talk about some of our favorite moments of the Royal Rumble, and we'll get into the current card and give our predictions. And so everybody just sit back, relax, enjoy, get your cup, because this is tailor-made for the night.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Reggie, with that said, man, what is the Royal Rumble?
The Royal Rumble is a 30-man battle royal, each man for himself, throwing each other over the top rope. One winner, and the stakes for this year's Royal Rumble as past years, the last past years is a shot at the right now. I have to make sure I say it right. WWF,
WWE.
WWE. I'm sorry, old school. Mean WWE. What do they call it now? It's not undisputed.
Well, it's like the unified title.
It's a unified title.
Yeah.
WWE Raw and SmackDown titles. Undisputed champion Roman Reigns. A shot at the current champion right now. So we got 30 men entering that just to get a chance at that. And,
Right. And it's at WrestleMania.
Right, at WrestleMania, at the big one, 2-night event.
And there it is. Also, there's a women's Royal Rumble as well. And the winner of that Royal Rumble, she will get a choice of who to go after for the title, which would be currently Bianca Belair, who's the Raw Women's Champion. And then you have Charlotte Flair, the daughter of Nature Boy Ric Flair, who is the SmackDown Women's Champion. So the women have a choice, and once that's over with, then we go into the storyline of figuring them decide which way they want to go. That winner. So that should be exciting.
Right. I can't look. I'm actually looking. This is the first Royal Woman in a while. I'm actually looking forward to. So
very good.
I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah, I'm going to tune into this one. Usually on the premium live events, I'll wait a little bit, but this one I think I'm going to tune in as soon as the bell rings for that first match.
Exactly. And the premium live event, ladies and gentlemen, that's used to be called pay-per-view. And in other organizations, it may still be called a pay-per-view, but WWE uses the wording premium live event. So when you hear that, that's basically what it is. It's old school pay-per-view matches. And it's on Peacock. So if you have Peacock, which I do, it also includes the WWE. So it's a good deal, sweet deal, because you can go back and watch pretty much all the matches throughout history that's related to WWE, because WWE did purchase WCW, right? They have the rights to ECW. Also on there, you can watch AWA, those who remember American Wrestling Association back in the day. Then you have World Class Championship Wrestling and Mid-South. So all the throwback matches, you can go back there and take a look at them as well. As of course, all the premium live events throughout the history of WWE is on there too. And other stuff too, documentaries, all kind of stuff. So we're sitting here selling the product, and you get our point. So you can check it out on Peacock.
All right, let's get into. You want to tell us about the history of it? I know we got the ticker at the bottom telling us about it, but if you want to get into it a little bit.
Yeah, let's do that. Because we talked about what the Royal Rumble is, right? It's a battle royal with a twist. And so with that said, the history of the Rumble, right? It as you can see across the bottom, Pat Patterson. And God rest his soul, he's moved on to glory. But Pat Patterson is is documented as the creator of the Royal Rumble. Pat Patterson used to wrestle back in the days, 60s, 70s. He was a part of the Worldwide Wrestling. I think it was called Worldwide Wrestling Federation back then, before they switched to just WWE. But he was back wrestling back in those days. Then he ended up wrestling with the WWF in the 60s, 70s. Had a lot of great matches at Madison Square Garden and all that kind of stuff. But and he wrestled in other leagues as well prior to that. But he really got his name in the WWF at that time. And he was also the first Intercontinental Champion. And there's a story behind that, Reggie. So I'll pass it back to you to give that story of the Intercontinental Championship.
Right. That title originated. It was originally the North American Championship and was it South American Championship?
Yeah.
Or how did it? Right. And kayfabe had a tournament for it with Pat Patterson winning. So in other words, they chose him as the inaugural champion, the Intercontinental Champion, which is known as the workhorse belt back in the day. So he was the first person to actually wear that crown in the WWF also as well. So he I think he's a Hall of Famer. So much respect as we go on to this event. Just in the back of your head, started in the back of your head that he's the one who created it. So all the flowers are for Pat Patterson when you're looking at this Royal Rumble that's coming up.
Absolutely. And Pat Patterson was in the first WrestleMania back in '85 as a referee. He was the referee inside the ring, and Muhammad Ali was a special guest referee outside the ring because there was so much chaos in that match, that tag team main event with Roddy Piper and Cowboy Bob Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff in a grudge tag team match against Mr. T and Hulk Hogan. Mr. T and Hulk Hogan had Superfly Jimmy Snuka in their corner, not in the match, but just in their corner to back them up in case things go sideways. And Cowboy Bob Orton was basically the bodyguard for Roddy Piper at that time, which is Randy Orton's dad. So that was a entertaining and a big happening back then. So Pat Patterson, not only did he wrestle, not only did he book matches, put together matches, he also was a referee. So you could tell he did it all, and a commentator as well. So that man did it all. And without him putting that idea in front of Vince McMahon and eventually networks saying, hey, this is a great idea, because Vince McMahon didn't necessarily like the idea, but networks did. And then it turns into his own premium live event. So that's good stuff.
Right. The first couple, I think, was on the USA networks, and they drew big numbers. So they said, hey, let's go ahead and charge the people for it and make this one of our big events throughout the year. And it's lived up to the hype. We had a lot of classic Royal Rumbles in the past, a lot of classic finishes in the past. What are your memories on Royal Rumble?
Oh, my goodness, man. Where do I stop? I mean, where do I start? I guess I'm gonna start with the first one. That's the first, the one that caught my eye was the first Royal Rumble that I could, that I actually was able to see. Because they also say that there was some house shows where they had Royal Rumbles and they tried it out to see how the audience would like it. So when they travel around the different cities, they threw a Royal Rumble in there just to see what the reaction would be. But the one that was actually,
I think Hacksaw Jim Duggan and was it Big John Studd? I think they were the first couple of winners of those house show Royal Rumbles back in the day.
Yeah, man, you threw back some names there. But yes, so the one I remember the most was the one that came on the USA Network, that first one. And, that was, to me, it was just a happening because that match was, it was an hour long, pretty much. And to see that kind of match, to see how they were able to string a battle royal out that long was interesting to me. And Hulk Hogan was involved with it, you can't ask for anything better at that time. To have him in the middle of things on that Royal Rumble. And if I'm not mistaken, he actually won that one.
Right.
Yeah. So that was pretty good. I have memories of also Ric Flair, when Ric Flair brought in, and he was the Reels World Champion, right? He brought that belt over from the NWA. He brought that NWA belt over, WCW belt, and that big gold belt. And
I think that was what year? You remember what year that was? Was that 91 or 92?
91. Yeah, I think it was 91, I believe. Yeah.
We missed one thing. I want to go back and let the fans know. The one thing I missed on we saying it's a battle royal, but the difference between this battle royal and all the other one is the 2-minute increment between participants coming in the ring.
Yeah, good point.
What really sells this as one of the best events throughout the year. You never know who's going to come through that curtain next, and you just waiting for that countdown, that 10, 9, 8, to see who's going to bust through that door. So that's what really sells this as one of the best events throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like you said, I agree with you. The one where that was the first one that was actually for the WWF at the time title. So whoever won that one was actually the champion, and the odds were stacked against Ric Flair because I think he came out number 3 in that one. So he lasted through the night. Like I said, that's my favorite one. And at the end, with a tear in my eye, That was one of the best post-match promos I ever. I just love Ric Flair when he gets on the mic, and that just capped off that Royal Rumble. And another one of my favorites was the I'm gonna go more modern day in the 2000s, where Batista and John Cena, they both, it was a botch. They both eliminated each other.
Yeah.
Which led to Vince McMahon coming down the ring, storming down the ring, sliding in the ring, and breaking his quads, and giving directions. And Batista ended up winning that one. So that was a nice Royal Rumble as well. That's one of the ones I remember back in the day. Also one of my favorites.
Yeah, and a couple minor corrections. We're digging back into our brain cells here, but first of all, you were right about the first two actual Royal Rumbles. Jim Duggan won the first one. Big John Studd won the second one. Hulk Hogan won the third one. Ric Flair won the fourth one, 1992.
92. I knew it was 91 or 92. I couldn't recall which one it was.
Right, because that kind of ties into the year where we thought we was going to get a Flair Hogan, and we didn't. Right, that's what Hogan show.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, that's good stuff, man. But yeah, also, the Stone Cold Steve Austin, that was a memory of mine too, where he, first let me get to that Ric Flair, because that's that promo you was talking about right there.
Oh yes, yeah. Mr. Perfect, rest his soul in the background. Yeah, Ric Flair was off the top with a tear in my eye. Yeah, I appreciate that moment.
Yeah, and also, Ric Flair is known for those long matches, being able to wrestle 60 minutes. So this was right up his alley to be in the ring that long. That's what he was known for as well. Stone Cold Steve Austin, when he was throwing people out left and right, and then he was sitting there and he had to wait for the clock to count down for the next one to come in.
Stump a nut holding somebody. Right.
Kofi Kingston comes to mind too, with all the different saves that that he kept preventing himself from being eliminated.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if we got it stored, but I think he actually probably had Shawn Michaels in his mind with that save. He was one of the first people that actually, one of the rules, there you go. One of the rules, both feet got to touch the floor. And in that Royal Rumble, the last two members were British Bulldog and Shawn Michaels. British Bulldog throws Michaels over the ropes. He thinks he's won. The music plays. Next thing you know, Michaels is back in the ring and throws him out, and he's the winner. Smart move by Michaels. Both feet got to touch the floor.
Absolutely. Another memory of mine, and just to close out another one of my favorite ones is when Bianca Belair won the Royal Rumble and went on to WrestleMania.
Right.
And a little foreshadowing, because I think at some point they're going to meet again. But her and Rhea Ripley had a moment in that Royal Rumble where they had to go at it, and they both were throwing people out. Yeah, and it looked like it was going to really come down to them, and do a little foreshadowing moving forward. I think at some point we're going to get that match.
Right, that's a big match.
Yeah, and for the title. So, and they did that back during the COVID. I think that was during the COVID season when they
right.
Yeah.
Let's give the ladies their due also. The first one, I think Asuka was the winner of the first actual female Royal Rumble. So we got to give the ladies their just due. They do put on the show. And I think last year, actually, I preferred the female Royal Rumble over the male Royal Rumble last year.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey, correct? I think won last year.
Yeah, she did.
Right.
Yep. And so, yeah, we got to give the ladies their due too, because when they started having the female battle royal as well, Royal Rumble as well, that was huge because they actually get the job done out there too. Very exciting. Yeah, man. So, are there any more memories that you have of the Royal Rumbles?
One of my other biggest memories was Brock Lesnar a few years ago, tossing out, I think, like the first 12 or 13 people just left and right, just tossing them out the ring. Quick as they come, quick as they go, just tossing them out, no competition for Big Brock. So that's another big memory. What else? Stone Cold, as you said. I think Stone Cold may be a three-time, if I'm correct, winner of the Royal Rumble. and there's not many of those people who's actually won it 3 times.
Right.
So that's another thing upon the Stone Cold's legendary resume that he has.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, those are some great memories, and looking forward to this one providing some more great memories also.
Yes, sir. What I like about the Rumble as well is that you get the surprise factor. Not only do you don't know the order of all of the competitors, you know, they might give you a couple here and there. They might do a match early and say, hey, this person gonna get the last entry.
Right.
Or this person demands to be first, but you really don't know how the order of all 30. So that makes it interesting. You're gonna have alliances formed of unlikely characters. You may have 2 people that you just know can't stand each other, but they're gonna work together just to hang around. You may have tag teams that have to face each other at some point. Other storylines develop off of it, things like that. So there's a lot to look forward to. And also, Reggie, and I'll let you talk about this, surprise entrance. Like remember Edge when he popped in there. I think it was in 2020 when Edge showed up, and the crowd just went crazy. In Houston,
crazy. He came back. Nobody was expecting that. Another one of my favorites was the cameraman kind of messed it up, but when AJ Styles came through the curtain, making his long-awaited debut for WWF, that was another big moment. Of course, you can't forget about Cena when he came. He came off injury early. Nobody was expecting him to come, and he came in. Everybody jaw dropped, especially Triple H. So those special entries, there's something. Those surprise entries, that's something we all look forward to. That's what I'm looking forward to this year, just to see who's going to pop up, who's going to make the comeback, who ain't seen in a while. Never know, Triple H might throw a legend or 2 in there for us just to get some laughs.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So it's going to be a good. We got to keep your eyes glued for that next person coming out the tunnel.
Yeah. Hello, Beulah Duke. She says, "My guys,
what's up? Going on?
All right,
glad you're tuning in.
Absolutely, appreciate it. All the support. Okay,
Reggie. Also, like you were saying, the alliances that's going to form. You got so many factions that this year that's going to be in the Royal Rumble. You got Judgment Day. You got the Brawling Brutes. You got the Bloodline. Who else is in there? Imperium's going to be in there. So it's going to what we named like four factions. So that's like at least 4 people, like 16 of the guys are friends. So they're gonna have to duke it out at some point. I think some of these guys are gonna have to duke it out. So that's gonna be nice. And I'm not sure if Big Omos said he's gonna be in it, but if he is, it's gonna take a lot of guys to get him out of there.
Yeah, 7'4". What is it? 7'3", 400?
Yeah, about 440 or something. That the big Nigerian giant. That's gonna be a handful for some of them guys.
Yeah. And he played college basketball too. I can't remember where, but he did play some college basketball. It makes sense being 7'3", 7'4". You probably should play some basketball somewhere.
Right.
But yeah, that's gonna be exciting. Gonna be exciting. Yeah. What was that, Reggie?
You got any predictions what might go down? Or you want to get into the card? Let's finish up the Royal, but then we get into the card because the title's on the line, so we're gonna save that for later.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So we'll get into the card, and then we'll. You know what? I'll give a prediction, but it'll be towards the end. How about that?
Okay. No problem with that. Save it to the end.
All right, just help me out. I'm dealing with the producers right now. So what we got next again, Reggie? Just help me out right quick.
When we was talking about the surprise interest, who do you think may pop out of that curtain?
Ooh, man. Okay, so there's a lot of wrestlers that have been returning, right, since Triple H has been kind of leading the way with Raw and SmackDown, and he's been bringing a lot of wrestlers back. I think that I'm gonna go with CM Punk.
Oh no, I'm not seeing that one. Now, you surprised me with that. We didn't talk about that in the meeting. Now. You surprised me with that one. Now, if CM Punk goes, you know what? I would say that. Okay, it has to be. I'm going to talk before I get there because I'm going to cover CM Punk.
Yeah.
I'm going to lead up to the big guys. So,
Okay.
I'm thinking Randy Orton was going to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I hope he comes back. And I also think Riddle's going to come back because I think Riddle's just on a suspension. So he's not waiting for like to be cleared by a doctor or anything. So I think Riddle's going to come back. Randy Orton. It's in the back of my head. I'm really hoping we can get Big E out there, but I don't think that neck's probably healed up yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one, yeah, is kind of far fetched. Cody has already officially announced that he's going to be there, so that's not much of a surprise. But it's going to have to be somebody big. So if they can't get The Rock, maybe they will. Get
wow.
Maybe they will get something.
Yeah,
but
man, I forgot about The Rock, man. It's a good time for him to come back now because if he somehow wins the Royal Rumble, then he automatically has that title shot, and then he'll go against Roman Reigns, which is his cousin, and which is he maybe The Rock is the only one that can come in here and straighten out the Samoan dynasty. You know what I mean?
Right. That bloodline storyline is going to be deep. If The Rock, you may have to choose sides then if Rock comes back in there because we all know Rock he ain't the original Samoan, but he's the one that really put that dynasty on the map. And I know Roman really wants to get that notch on his belt to get that victory over The Rock. That would be big for Roman if he can do that, especially at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
CM, what makes you think that CM Punk, if Triple H pulls that one off, boy, that roof's gonna explode.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That place would go nuts if he shows up there. I'm not sure about his AEW situation, other than they, that fight that happened, that happened after the match and everything, and some of the things that CM Punk said that cut pretty deep, and kind of turned against the locker room there. So, personally, I think AEW will be better without CM Punk, because don't rely on the, on the guy that made his popularity somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like at this point,
homegrown guys. Yeah. Go back to what you started on your homegrown guys and build from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that. The only problem is I know they say him and Triple H don't get along, but if Triple H actually learned anything from his father-in-law Vince McMahon, business is always first. Because there's been some relationships that Vince went back. Rest in peace, Ultimate Warrior. That's one. We know they had bad blood, but Vince, he still got Warrior into the Hall of Fame. So Vince he'll put his pride to the side, and if Triple H can do the same and CM Punk coming there, boy, it's gonna be a show, boy.
Yeah, that would be a show right there. Hey man, you brought Ultimate Warrior, so we got to spin it back to memories too. So Warrior and Hogan, when they faced off in the Royal Rumble, that was a tease and a prelude, to what we got in WrestleMania 6. So
right. And that was something that as kids, like we weren't used to baby face facing a baby face. And when they turned around and looked at each other and the crowd realized what was going on, boy, like Gorilla Monsoon used to say, you can feel the electricity in the air, boy. That was something for the ages, boy. Just what Gorilla used to say, the irresistible force meeting the immovable object. Yes. That was a classic.
You can cut the electricity. You can cut the what do you say? Cut the electricity with a knife.
Yes.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Two superpowers squaring off right there in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. So we talked about the history of it, some of our favorite moments, and we kind of touched a little bit on what's going on currently. But we can jump into the card if you like.
Okay, that's no problem. What we got first? Just if you don't mind, run the matches down real quick, and we'll take it from there.
All right, we'll get that going. We already know we know what the main event is, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that later.
Right, right. We got
We
that.
know what the main
What do they
event is.
call it? A lights out match between Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. So that's something that nobody's seen. So I'm wondering what's really gonna happen with that. What kind of match is that going to be? You got anything in your head that what you think is going to happen in that match?
Well, I mean, it's gonna be chaos for one. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Uncle Howdy. What kind of role is Uncle Howdy gonna play in this? Is
Right.
he gonna because he took out the one guy I thought was an ally, which was Bray Wyatt. So I didn't understand that. I don't know where they're going with that. So I don't know what
Right.
role this is, how that's gonna play out, but it could be a swerve, you know what I mean? It could have you thinking one way and then Uncle Howdy helps him out in the match.
Right.
But yeah, it's the Mountain Dew lights, the Mountain Dew pitch black match. So
Right.
it's
Pitch
lights
black.
out.
That's
It's
what it's
gonna be
called.
dark,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's gonna be dark. It's basically a no holds barred, no rules, anything goes type of match. So they can pretty much use what they want. You got to get the pinfall, the submission as a result. And so I
Right.
expect something very unique. The more I see the commercials about it, the more interested I am in it. And what a way for LA Knight to make his WWE Premium Live event debut than to go up
Right on the
against a
main
megastar
stage.
like Bray Wyatt.
Right, right. And he actually at first a lot of people were saying, "Hey, why are you choosing this guy against Bray Wyatt as his first opponent after the return?" But LA Knight has really, especially on that microphone, he's really been a show every week just to see what he's going to say. And we know Bray Wyatt is a talker, and LA Knight was bringing it right back to him. So
Yeah,
I'm actually looking a little bit more to see what LA Knight's going to do because he reminds me, we was talking about The Rock. The way he is on that microphone kind of is reminiscent of The Rock. So I want to see what he can do in the ring. And also with it saying pitch black, I thought about it. I was like, before Bray left, he was the Fiend, and it used to be red in the ring
right.
when the Fiend was wrestling. So I wonder what kind of twist he's going to put on this one
Yeah,
to make it something special.
yeah. It's definitely gonna be a happening. And since we never had this match before, that's what makes this intriguing and a must see. Another
Right.
match. And we're gonna go ahead and do our prediction on the match too along the way. You good with
On
that?
that match, I'm just gonna call it. I don't think they're gonna do any kind of swerve like you said it's no holds bar, so it can't be disqualification.
Right.
So I'm thinking it's gonna be Bray Wyatt getting his first win and the return with some, like you said, some interference from Uncle Howdy, maybe even Alexa Bliss, because we've seen that they all kind of tie that storyline together from the past. So I'm looking for Bray Wyatt to win the match itself, but I think this is more a match to push that storyline forward.
Yeah. I had Bray Wyatt winning this match as well. Um, there's no way to predict how it's wrestling, but
Right, right,
Bray Wyatt's
right,
gonna somehow win.
right.
And you brought up Alexa Bliss, right? So Alexa Bliss
Mm-hmm.
was actually teaming with Bianca Belair. They were trying to take care of the faction with
Damage
um,
control.
yeah, Damage Control. There you go. Appreciate that with Bailey and Io Sky and and all that going on there. The tag
Dakota
team
Kai.
champions. So yeah, Dakota Kai. So you have that faction there that's been wreaking havoc over the last 6 or 7 months, and Alexa turns on Bianca. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
when she cheap shot her at that when they had the interview for the match. It's one thing to go ahead and have a title match, but I mean, because that's the goal of them all is to be the best. But then when
right.
she cheap shot at Bianca Belair, so with that said, Alexa and Bianca, because Alexa did earn it. She won that uh, 6-pack challenge match and ended up becoming #1 contender. Um,
Right, right.
but I just don't see Alexa beating Bianca at the Royal Rumble.
I actually do.
Okay,
I actually
you
do.
tell me why.
I actually do. It's been a long time since Alexa held the belt, for one thing. We know the storyline she had with the Fiend. After the Fiend left, she was kind of in limbo. They didn't know what to do with her. Seems like Triple H got her right back on track. So it looks like Triple H got some faith in Alexa, and they're giving her, they gave her back her edge also with that tying her in with Bray and Uncle Howdy. So she has the edge. She's looks like she's focused. So I actually think she's going to beat Bianca somehow, and maybe it is with Uncle Howdy's help.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. So Bray, he's captivated this one actually. So he's in actually a couple of storylines. So I think didn't Bianca win the belt back at WrestleMania last year? Was it?
Yeah, she won the belt in WrestleMania. She defeated Becky Lynch.
Becky. Right. So I'm thinking that it's time for the relinquish that title. She's had a good run. She's headlined 2 WrestleManias. So I think it's time to put that belt on somebody else. And I think Alexa, she's held out long enough. It's time to put the title back on.
Okay, that's a big prediction there. You definitely had me want to watch that match even more now. But yes, if she's gonna win, I mean, you can get some help from outside and do that, because I think straight up the power of Bianca is just a little too much for Alexa. But Alexa's she's a tough little cookie. So it's gonna be entertaining, to say the least. So
hey,
the
before
winner.
We get to that, go ahead and finish your sentence, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead. I'll say mine.
I just wanted to say on I know we're covering the men's Royal Rumble so much, and excuses because we're used to that one, and that's kind of old school. But I do want to go back on the surprises and say on the women's side, I'm looking for Nia Jax to walk through that curtain.
All right, Nia Jax. Yeah, she's been away for a while, and that'll be a big return. So yeah, if she comes back, I mean, she's gonna come in there and really take out a lot of people, because I'm certain she got a lot of frustration. So it's been really quiet too.
Right, she's been quiet, and usually you hear a story off her Twitter or something like that. So she's been quiet. So that's what piqued my interest. And also, if she walks through that curtain, that's going to give me the inkling that The Rock is going to walk through the curtain too.
Because they're related.
Exactly. And you may look for also Naomi, who is also married into the bloodline. So that's another one. Right. That's another one that you just look at those little things and little hints. If the Women's Royal Rumble goes first and those two come back, that's going to be interesting and more fuel to add to the bloodline.
I tell you what, another person that would get a huge pop if she returns, Sasha Banks.
Oh yeah, everybody's been quiet because everybody thought she. I think a couple of weeks ago she was at a New Japan event, so they were kind of quiet down and said, "Hey, she's going to be out there in Japan." But that would be a good one if. Man, you really got me. I'm going to tune into this. I'm going to tune in because if we get Sasha Banks, CM Punk, or The Rock in the same night, WrestleMania gonna have something to the show. If we can get a Royal Rumble to start the year off like with a bang like that.
Yeah, it'll be something else. And just to go deeper into the as far as the women's side now. The winner of the Bianca Belair Alexa Bliss match will be the Raw Women's Champion. The winner of the 30-woman Royal Rumble match can decide, and they may choose the Raw Women's Champion at WrestleMania. So with that said, the 30-woman Royal Rumble match. What are your thoughts on that?
You want my prediction on it?
Your thoughts and prediction. Yeah.
In that one, I can see it coming down to Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley, and Rhea taking the win. and go on the headline in WrestleMania. I would like to see my last two, if it's not those two, I would like to see Rhea and Ronda Rousey to determine who's going to be the last one. But I know people are tired of Ronda, but I really would like to see Rhea and Ronda. Maybe I might get a match down the line, but I definitely have Rhea Ripley winning this one. It seems like she's on a hot streak. The Judgment Day been popping off with ex-con Dom.
Yeah, you gotta love it.
He's kind of still in the spotlight from even the leader, Finn Balor. So ex-con Dom, his storyline is pretty interesting, pretty funny. He's actually, I like Dominic now.
That's what one night in jail do to you, man.
Right. It's just hard times, man. It's hard time. He started that hard time. Turned his whole life around.
Yeah. So
what about you? What you think about the women's?
Well, man, it's gonna be. I know it's gonna be great for one. There's a lot of talent that's gonna be in that ring. I'm leaning towards, I'm leaning towards Rhea Ripley as well. But see, and I kind of talked about it earlier, touched on it, because I foresee Rhea Ripley and Bianca at WrestleMania. That's what I want to see at WrestleMania.
Right.
You got the ultimate, where you got a big heel right now in Rhea. Yeah. And she's in this, in the storylines, and she's like just mixing it up with a little bit of everybody. And they cross paths one night on Raw in the back. And it's like, man, I would love to see this happen for the title too.
You saw that tension right there.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Rhea Ripley somehow gonna win it. I think somehow she's gonna win it. There'll be some surprises. There's also gonna be, Mickie James. She got it. She was in it last year, I believe, and she's the over in Ring of Honor. And I think they'll still do some things like that. They may bring a wrestler or two from New Japan, a couple of NXT wrestlers. I think they'll implement some of them, so you can see some of that young talent that's developing there. So it's going to be interesting. I'm ready for it.
I can see them debuting Pretty Deadly, putting them on the main stage. I really wish that what's her name, Mandy Rose, that incident that happened with her didn't happen, so she can be in it, because I wanted to see Mandy actually. She went to NXT and she blossomed, and I wanted to see her come back and get into either Raw or SmackDown, one of those storylines. But you never know what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe they work something out, and maybe she might be a surprise. You never know.
Yeah, just never know. You never know with this thing in this business. So, that it is what it is there. So, man, let's get into the men's Royal Rumble match, the 30-man Royal Rumble match. What's your thoughts on that?
You want to do the title before that? And what's going to main event it? The title match or the Rumble? It should be the Rumble, right?
Well, you never know with WWE. Sometimes they throw the title match in there somewhere towards the end, and then they end it with I'll tell you what, they're probably going to bookend. They're going to probably bookend the Royal Rumble matches. So if you see the men's match first, then you're probably going to see the women's match last. As far as the Royal Rumbles go, and then in between they have these other matches. So we can go ahead and pretend like we're booking the show, and we'll go with the WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. So let's do that one, and then we'll come back with the 30-man Royal Rumble match.
Okay. So, and funny that they're matching up again, because I think it was last year Royal Rumble or a year before that? KO actually took on Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, and the match, the finish didn't pan out the way they wanted to. I think it was it a last man standing, or I forgot what type of match it was.
It was like a 10 count match, yeah. And I think what happened was that part where they was trying to take off the handcuffs or something. It took a while to get that part done. But other than that, it was all over the place. Golf carts jumping off of pallets and all kind of stuff was going on.
Right, right. And I think that was during we was getting back on track from COVID.
Yeah.
So the storyline wasn't as amazing as this storyline being. So Kevin Owens, he really got the fans behind him. I can see him really giving Roman a run for his money and a lot of false finishes in this matchup. Of course, we're gonna have bloodline interference,
Yeah.
and with that,
You can book that.
after Monday night with the bloodline interfering in the KO and Sami Zayn's match, I don't know how Sami Zayn is gonna react if the bloodline comes out there. Will he choose sides with Kevin Owens or will he choose side with the bloodline? And most of the Roman's matches have not ended cleanly, so I don't think this one's gonna end cleanly either. So I got Roman for the victory and pushing forward the Bloodline Sami Zayn KO storyline.
Yeah.
What you got, man?
I got Roman Reigns figuring out a way to win. He's been doing it all this time. It's gonna. I don't see it ending anytime soon. The next time that it may end will be WrestleMania, depending on the opponent.
Right.
And we have a lot to wait. And some of that may have something to do with the 30-man Royal Rumble match that we'll talk about in a few minutes, as far as opponents, possible opponents. But yeah, I see Roman Reigns. He's gonna get his butt kicked now. Kevin Owens is a fighter. It's gonna be all over the place. And I just think Kevin Owens is going to be mighty upset at the end of this match because of something that someone does. And I think it's going to be Sami Zayn that's going to do something here to ruin Kevin Owens' chance to get that 3 count. And that's going to really, Monday night's going to be crazy. As a result.
Man, wow, you're right. You're right. I didn't even look beyond the Royal Rumble. You are absolutely right. That's going to be like another premium live event coming off Royal Rumble. It sure is. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, because remember now, Cody Rhodes is going to be in that next one.
Right. So you say you got Roman for that one as well?
Yeah, Roman. I had Roman. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get into it. The big one. What you think?
All right. 30-man Royal Rumble match. I'm gonna save. I want you to save your comment because there was something that you mentioned in our production meeting. We had a couple of production meetings, by the way, but in one of them you mentioned something, so I wanted you to save that for everybody here. So, but yeah, this one, man, is you would think that it's Cody Rhodes that's going to win it,
right?
And Cody Rhodes will be the one at WrestleMania to dethrone Roman Reigns because Cody Rhodes, the son of Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. Dusty Rhodes never won the WWE WWF Championship. One time he was close one time, and he lost that match at Madison Square Garden back in '77, I think it was. It was back in that right around that time. But he hasn't won the championship in WWF, WWE. And so Cody is going to, the story is going to be that he's going to get it done and he's going to do it for his dad. And what better opponent to take the title from in Roman Reigns, the guy who's been unstoppable. And if you're going to have somebody that's not Brock Lesnar, right, that you can really, really, really see Roman losing to, I think it would be Cody Rhodes. And a lot of people in the wrestling world understands this, but Cody Rhodes, even though he helped start AEW, he is a homegrown WWE wrestler. Right. He was brought up in WWE and went on creatively and did some great things at AEW and got that going. But he's like a homegrown WWE product. So when you see him back, and you see the excitement from the fans and everything is because of that, because he really was homegrown. So what better opponent to have than a babyface homegrown opponent, the son of the American Dream, son of a plumber, and Dusty Rhodes is so, he's so involved in a lot of the wrestlers that are wrestling right now that's at the top. So it ties everything, just kind of ties together, you know, because he helped train Roman Reigns, he helped train Seth Rollins and all these guys back in the days at back in the NXT days and Florida Championship days. So I have Cody winning this Royal Rumble. But man, it's gonna be full of a lot of ups and downs.
It's
gonna be a whole lot of twists and turns going on, Reggie. But somehow Cody's gonna figure out a way to get it done. I mean, you know, he wrestled that match with Seth with the torn pec, and that's probably the match of the year, at least a match of the year candidate. In all of wrestling, it's probably the match of the year, one of the candidates for it. And for him to be out all this time, they kept people tied in with all the vignettes throughout, you know, every couple of months to keep giving you updates on them. And then he made the big announcement that he's back and he's entering the World Rumble. I can't see him losing it. So I have Cody Rhodes winning.
So you vested in Cody Rhodes. Okay,
yes,
so if you would have asked me this a few months ago, I would agree with you that Cody Rhodes is going to win. I agree with you. That was the match of the year. I would agree. I'm gonna get to it. I've seen some polls where that was the match of the year, him versus Seth. And I will say again that at WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes will be wrestling Seth Rollins. Because Seth Rollins will cost him the shot. Now, a few months ago, I had Cody, but I think that injury slowed his momentum just a little bit. Okay. And in the meantime, my winners, his momentum has skyrocketed. We talked about him earlier. I have Sami Zayn pulling this out. I have Sami Zayn pulling this out. Ooh. Now, my other finish is, I talked about it earlier with Batista and Cena.
Right.
It may be a somehow like some finish where we get two winners and it's undecided. I have Roman maybe wrestling both nights of WrestleMania. And if he does, it may be Sami and Cody or Sami and The Rock, if The Rock makes his return. But I really think they're going to push Sami Zayn. Cody's going to get his shot, and like you said, it's like the perfect story. Cody is a homegrown talent. He didn't reach his potential when he was at WWF or WWE the first time. He went on and he invested in himself. I like that about Cody. He invested in himself. He believed in himself. He left there. He went to New Japan. He became a member of the Bullet Club, and we know the Bullet Club is one of those factions that probably go down as historical legend faction. And then he goes on to build AEW with Tony Khan and I forgot the twins' names right now. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, those guys. And then he turns around and comes right back to WWE. The fans loved him at last year's WrestleMania. It would be the perfect story. So I can see him winning, but I think that the crowd has turned their direction to the bloodline and just love Sami Zayn. So I think Sami Zayn will win the Royal Rumble.
Oh my goodness, boy! You talking about Monday night?
Yeah,
either way, it's gonna be like when we were kids. You had to tune in.
Right. This is you are absolutely. It's been a while since you had that Monday night when you used to have to tune in the Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, The Rock, guys like that. And I think you are absolutely right. That brawl is going to be something to watch. That's going to put up some numbers. We might want to watch the ratings on that one. That was going to put up some numbers.
Yeah, definitely. So, wow, man, we have our predictions, Reggie. Again, if you're going to watch the Royal Rumble, get Peacock. You can tune in. It's going to be at the San Antonio, Texas Alamo Dome. And so That's a huge place.
Another thing to tie into that Alamo Dome, Shawn Michaels from the Alamo Dome. We all know it, the boyhood dream. So this could be another boyhood dream situation with Cody Rhodes. So yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
It's
You're right. I'm
crazy,
not going
isn't
to
it?
change the pick. I'm not
No,
going to
no,
change the pick.
you got a good one there, because man, if that happens, oh boy, I mean, can you imagine? Because the fans already love Sammy, and they was already, and you
Right.
know what? They've been teasing us too a little bit. Like
Right.
Roman Reigns didn't quite like all that Sammy chant going on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it can go 1,000 ways right here. So either way, it's gonna be
If,
something,
if
man.
he if he doesn't win, I do see that match happening before Mania. If Sammy don't get it, I do see him having to face the Tribal Chief in a 1-on-1 matchup down the line.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it can happen. Yep.
it might be Monday night. You never know.
You
Monday night or
never know.
Friday night SmackDown. That's going. What night is the Royal Rumble? Is it Saturday or Sunday?
It is on Saturday, January 28th,
Okay.
at the Alamo Dome.
Okay.
They just set a record in the NBA the other night, having the game at the Alamo Dome. The Warriors at the
The
Spurs.
Spurs?
Yeah,
Right.
that's not normally where the Spurs play anymore, obviously, but they went back to the Alamo Dome days, and
Oh,
they
okay,
put
that's
like
what it was.
they put
I
68 in there.
didn't think about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they
right.
set the record. And by the way, Reggie, just a small little tidbit here. I was at the game. They broke the record, right? It was the game. They broke the record when Michael Jordan played at the Georgia Dome
Oh, really?
against Atlanta Hawks, and I was at that game.
This guy comes with something that just blows my mind. Last week he was at Madison Square Garden to see Hulk Hogan. Today he sees Michael Jordan. I know you've seen Kobe before he
Yeah,
passes away.
yeah,
So, oh man, wow.
yeah. Just had to be
Wow.
right place, right time. So yeah, I was
You
at that.
are absolutely right. You are absolutely
Yeah,
right. So I know you're going to see LeBron's last game. Hey, we're
and
going to
there
say
and there I am
that.
right there. There I am right there,
Oh
Madison Square
wow,
Garden.
man! Wow, wow, man! That's a lifelong memory right there. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. See, important right up there, man. But yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So at Madison Square Garden, my man. But yeah, so that's what we have, Reggie. We've covered a lot, man. And again, tune in for the Royal Rumble, 28th of January. It starts at 5 p.m. on Peacock.
Hey, on my end, we'll connect before the Royal Rumble. But if
Yes,
I ain't
sir.
got nothing going that Saturday night, if you want to do a like a 15-minute wrap up or something like that later on, if we have time, we can get together and try to do something like that. So if y'all want
All
to
right,
look out
cool.
for that one.
All right, cool. I know you want to make some closing comments on Briscoe.
Oh, right. Sad news coming out of the wrestling world. Jay Briscoe, a member of the brothers, them boys as they call themselves, passed away at 38 years old. I think it was 2 days ago or 2 nights ago in a fatal car accident. So we want to make sure we send out condolences to his family. I know he had a wife and kids, and of course his brother that he partnered with in Ring of Honor. He's going to be a legendary figure in the Ring of Honors going forward. They have a Hall of Fame or something like that. He's a pillar of Ring of Honor, 13-time world champion, Ring of Honor world champion with his brother, and actually a 2-time Ring of Honor heavyweight champion on the solo side. He's a lot of people haven't seen him because he's not on WWE or AEW due to some comments that he made, controversial comments he made on Twitter. So they kind of banned that tag team from actual national exposure. But if you get a chance, check out some of his matches, especially the matches with FTR, better known as
Yes,
the Revival in WWE. They had some classic matches this past year, 3 matches. I checked out one last night, dog collar match, another candidate for match of the year. So check that
yes,
out.
sir.
Check some of their matches out. They're a pretty good tag team. Like I said, condolences to his family, his brother, kids, wife. Just sad news.
Yes, sir. Reggie, I couldn't say it any better than that. And that's what we'll leave it at tonight. and appreciate you being on. And we'll get together again, like you said, very soon here. So everybody hit that like, subscribe, notification bell, and share, because sharing is caring. For Reggie, I'm Mr. 411. We thank you all for watching Turnbuckle Talk. We'll see you soon.
Have a good one, y'all. Peace.
Peace.